Ladies and gentlemen, normally we'd be doing a 3-minute review for SmackDown, but because Carl Wilkinson was in the house, and because Carl Wilkinson watched SmackDown with me, Carl Wilkinson is going to review SmackDown with me. We'll try and keep it short, but it's going to be a little bit longer than 3 minutes. So ultimately, if that bothers you, tune out. So this won't be a regular occurrence. We will still have plenty of 3-minute reviews, especially Raw, because nobody can tolerate more than 3 minutes talking about Raw, because Raw sucks dick. But I'm Aaron X. He's Carl Wilkinson. We watched SmackDown tonight, so we're going to give a SmackDown review. And it's actually been a little while since we reviewed SmackDown for the YouTube channel. SmackDown opens with women's wrestling. Becky Lynch, I'm back. The leprechaun from The Simpsons is out there. She says she's back. She then turns heel, and then we have a women's match to determine a new number one. We have a new number one contender. We have the match to determine a new number one contender. Turned into one with there. No idea why. What do you think of all this? Becky Lynch turning heel. Do you think that's a good move?
I mean, it's ballsy because she was over as hell when she came out at SummerSlam. People were hype.
No.
And then she's like, yeah, I missed you guys and I'm sorry for nothing. Haha, I did it. Look at me. Going back to me pot of gold.
Oh, you're here, Garvin, or do lead of one of my lucky charms.
Whatever. If she wants to do it, I don't think Becky's ever actually been quote unquote heel, because the last time they tried to turn her heel was she beat up Charlotte. Everyone loved it.
Yeah, everyone popped their little tits off for it.
Which is hilarious.
I don't care. It does make more sense that they facilitated that awful title shift at SummerSlam by having her just job out Bianca Belair, but the problem is the heat will be directed at the company, not Becky Lynch. Mm-hmm. They're not going to direct that much heat. So I don't know. Becky Lynch is going to have to work incredibly hard to be a heel. Apparently, she was inspired by other wrestlers. I think she said she was inspired by Roman Reigns or something about the heel turn because it worked so well for him, and she wanted something fresh. And we'll see how it goes. On the plus side, she's not on Raw. She'll be nowhere near Charlotte Flair. That's a good thing. Bianca Belair is number one contender. Think that's a good idea?
I mean, it's a predictable outcome. We need to get the actual match between these two, and I think Extreme Rules is coming up next. I don't know if they'll have a stipulation match, but I think we should have got an actual match because I think they did Bianca real dirty. But real dirty, bro. 6 months down the shitter. But in a couple of weeks we'll get the actual match at Extreme Rules. I'm sure Becky will probably go over because they're not gonna have her lose as soon as she comes back. But at least we'll get a good competitive matchup this time. And, Bianca earned it, beating out Carmella, Liv Morgan, and Zelina Vega in a fatal 4-way elimination match, I believe it was. It lasted about half hour.
Yeah, it took up a good portion of SmackDown, which is a good thing. Because, I feel like the women... Astrid made a really good point when she was on Astrid Cesaro, who's kind of like a new co-host of sorts with us. She said that it's great that the women have title matches, but it would be great to see women having matches that aren't necessarily for a title or random storylines outside of it. Because the only thing we're really getting is Alexa Bliss, and that sucks dick. I'm sorry, but it does. It's just boring. So
hey, dude, she's gonna challenge Charlotte. Can you imagine how much none of us care about that?
Yeah, that is going to suck so fucking hard, isn't it? Yeah. So it was Bianca Belair, Carmella, Liv Morgan, Zelina Vega. I didn't full disclosure, I didn't watch that match. You did. Was it any good?
Yeah, it was a good match. I mean, it was a little rushed at the start, but then the final two were Bianca and Liv Morgan. It was nice to see Liv get a little bit of a spotlight because she's got to be a megastar if they just have the balls to pull the trigger. We talked about that. We're like, they just need to do it, and if it fails, it fails. But you gotta at least try.
Yeah, fair enough. On the flip side of things, back in the mid card, Cesaro's back. He wrestled Chad Gable and won by disqualification. Is it disappointing that Cesaro is back where they think he is? Do you think Cesaro has a ceiling? Because he had that little run against Roman Reigns very briefly, lost an incredibly effective title match, which felt like a gift for him re-signing. It was almost like, thanks for re-signing. Here's a title shot. Now fuck off. Right back to where you were mid-card. And also, what do you think about Chad Gable and Otis? It feels like it works for mid-card, but it's not going anywhere.
No, I mean, I remember when Cesaro first got that match against Roman, we talked about it. I'm like, this is going to be a one-shot deal. because it's just kind of fill time until I think I said SummerSlam or whatever's coming next, because it's kind of he's not going anywhere. I think he has plateaued. Even if he got like a big win at this point, I wouldn't care. It'd be like Sami Zayn winning a world title at this point. As much as I love him to death, I just wouldn't care. Alpha Academy, it's okay, I guess. It's no American Alpha. It's no heavy machinery. But I mean, it's
Although I
okay.
prefer Chad Gable to Tucker, if I'm being honest.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
Like, I'll tell you what, Tucker got exposed badly, didn't he? As soon as he was like isolated, it was like, oh shit, this guy sucks ass. Like, it's a shame. I missed hearing Dougie, but I feel like Otis, actually, they've done a good job of making him just this legitimate, angry looking shooter. I found it very fascinating, actually. Jim Cornette said on one of his podcasts recently that he thinks that the reason they keep putting him in that weird Mankini-esque singlet that he's got going on from Borat is because Vince McMahon, when he sees somebody who doesn't have a desirable body, he likes to show it off as a kind of, look at this disgusting freak. And that's why Otis is dressed the way he is. And obviously, Jim Cornette worked for years alongside Vince McMahon and creative department of things. And yeah, that probably makes a lot of sense, to be honest. I don't care. I think it's disappointing that Cesaro is back in the mix. I think Cesaro is perennially an Intercontinental Champion kind of guy, but it would be nice to see him at the high end of that. There's no reason why he can't always be transitional guy who helps face champions until they get, I don't know, the WrestleMania worthy contenders. I just feel like Cesaro could do more, even if it's in a mid-card capacity. I really, really, really don't fucking care about Rick Boogs and Nakamura beating Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. So that's all I have to say on it. Rick Boogs sucks. Sorry, but he does. And also, no Pat McAfee, tested positive for COVID. Kevin Owens did a great job on commentary, along with Corey Graves. Stacked commentary. Shame they didn't get rid of Michael Cole because he's fucking AIDS. Anything else to add? Good.
That tag match is a match that happened.
That is a match that happened, and we are fucking moving on, ladies and gentlemen, because fuck that match. Dominic Mysterio versus Sami Zayn was okay. Obviously, the whole build that Mysterio is going to eventually turn on, Dominic's going to turn on his father, Ray, or vice versa. Ray's kind of being a bit of a dick, isn't he? And he's kind of giving him a lot of business, and, he made a mistake, and that's how he got caught, Haluva kicking in. Sami Zayn wins. Sami Zayn perennially mid-card as well, I think. But at least they have guys. This is one thing that I prefer about SmackDown to say Dynamite, is that at least every match has people that look capable and look like somewhat of a star. Whereas there's so many matches on AEW where I think, who the fuck is that? Or what the fuck is this? Even like Boogs and Nakamura and that, you think, oh, fuck off, I'm not watching that. But Nakamura was a big deal somewhere. And Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler are bigger deals and have been world champions in different places and things like that. Sami Zayn versus Dominic Mysterio is fine. How long until we get a heel turn, so to speak?
I'd probably maybe Extreme Rules, like maybe next week. I mean, there's no way Ray's turning on Dominic because I don't think Rey Mysterio's been a heel in his entire career. I mean, I know he took his mask off in WCW. Maybe was it the Filthy Animals or whatever?
Filthy Animals.
Yeah, maybe that was a heel thing. But in his WWE run, like the multiple ones he's had, he's never been a heel because, his mask sells. Kids love him. He was my superhero when I was 12 years old. So we'll definitely get the Dominic turn, and I think they'll have a banger because. Ray's the one who trained him. They just know each other so fucking well. I think it'll be really fun. But do I really care? I guess a little, but
I don't. Because Dominic's really bland. I like Dominic, nice kid. But you can say he's got a long way to go to be a star. He's there.
Absolutely.
You want to talk about someone who is actually there on second name basis because of second name basis. It's Dominic Mysterio. All the others, you can argue have made stars of themselves, like Cody Rhodes. He was only there because of his dad, Dusty. Well, he actually is amazing at what he does. The Rock is great at what he does. Nia Jax, not so much. Tamina, not so much. Although at least she hasn't lived up to what her father's ultimate legacy was. So that's a good thing. Hotel rooms aside. Just full of really fucking offensive shit today. I don't know what's wrong with me. But ultimately, I just think I don't care enough. And I don't think I will care when the turn comes. Because it just feels like it's in the background. It's something that's in the background, very much like the Nakamura stuff. The only other thing that was in the background on this show before we talk about the next contender for Roman Reigns is Happy Corbin, who is now rich again because he did very well in Vegas, and he actually offered Biggie $100,000 for his Money in the Bank briefcase because he's loaded with money. I like the videos. I think Baron Corbin is the most committed wrestler in the world. Say what you like about him. Oh, he's rubbish. He's not funny. He doesn't get any heat. He doesn't get any pops. Blah, 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 blah. If you can find anyone who is given worse gimmicks than this, who is more committed than this, I'd love to see it. I thought Fandango was committed to that ridiculous shit. This is another level of commitment. Growing your hair out, the beard and everything, looking disheveled, or like basically looking like me on a Saturday. I love it. And now he's like happy-go-lucky. He's looking dapper as fuck. He's had a clean shave. He's got a fedora on. He's looking pang. He's looking like a young Frank Sinatra Jr. Good shit. The crowd
popped for him with the new Titantron with like the fucking slot machine.
You know why they popped? Because they respect a guy who's working incredibly hard on a sucky gimmick.
Absolutely.
People are going to respond to him because he works hard at this gimmick. This is a real good lesson, actually, to professional wrestlers out there and people as a whole who are in some sort of entertainment facet. Even if it sounds like it sucks and it looks like it sucks, if you could turn it into some form of chicken salad when it was chicken shit, then you will get something from it and people will respect you for it. I thought it was cool. I did. I love him. I'm always interested in what he's going to do. I think he's a great mic worker as well. He's great at talking. It's great to see him on the up again. How long for? We don't know. Main event.
Give me a little face Baron Corbin push. Give me that. Just a little one.
I don't think so. I think he's perennially an obnoxious dickhead, and he has to be.
I mean, yeah.
Don't think it works. Bit like saying make Rey Mysterio a heel. In theory, it sounds like it could work, but I don't think it will. Obviously, the bloodline. Now, Brock Lesnar returned to SummerSlam. Paul Heyman, he's shaking like a pissing dog in the wind, isn't he? He's sitting at, by the way, the bloodline t-shirts. Oh, I'm buying it. It's so sick. So Roman Reigns comes out. The bloodline comes out. It's the Usos as tag team champions. Roman Reigns is Universal Champion. It's Paul Heyman, and they basically gloat and say, it's time for you all to acknowledge us. And then Finn Balor's music plays. Out comes Finn Balor, because Finn Balor was supposed to get a title match at SummerSlam, but big match John stole it from him. That dastardly face that is John Cena.
With a Sharpie, by the way.
With a Sharpie. Sharpie. What a fucking mark. John Cena's obviously got, by the way, Finn Balor on his promo saying, oh, don't think I've forgotten about you, John Cena. You ain't getting that match for a long time, Sunshine, so you keep wishing, but good for you. I think this is great. He's obviously going to be a transitional guy for Roman Reigns until Brock Lesnar decides he wants to wrestle, which is probably going to be a Survivor Series. Or actually, they might just drag it all the way out to next year's WrestleMania. That's probably what's going to happen, which is a good thing. I think Roman Reigns has still got massive potential as a heel champion, and I feel like there's lots more to go from that before we get to the inevitable. But Finn Balor comes out, and then, of course, he's jumped by everybody, and then the Street Profits come down. So it looks like we're going to have Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title, hopefully at Extreme Rules, and at the same pay-per-view, although they may do it next week, because that's what they hinted at. I think they hinted, didn't they, and said it might be next week. So maybe they're just loading up SmackDown to contend with everything else and making SmackDown the show. And then, of course, you've got the Street Profits, who are going to be going at it with the Usos again. Give me what I want. Like, I'm going to watch that all day long. Finn Balor, you're okay with him being the next transitional guy to kind of feed Roman Reigns into his next rivalry?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little upset when they brought him back up from NXT. He's kind of doing the whole arm flaying again and pandering to the crowd. I liked when NXT, like, the whole Prince thing, just kind of bringing a bit of the Prince Devitt back. I mean, it's still going to be a good match because Finn Balor is a good wrestler and Roman Reigns is incredible. And whom, by the way, he's going to hold the belt for at least 435 days just to beat Punk's record. It's going to happen just because that's what WWE does. Like 100%.
Oh, yeah. I assume that record will end
Because SummerSlam was a year.
Like, yeah, once
So
you get
it's
to
already been a
WrestleMania, he'll be okay. I assume he would have defeated it by then.
I mean, yeah, it would be
Yeah,
beaten by WrestleMania.
should do, unless there's something crazy that goes wrong. So yeah, no, that doesn't surprise me at all. Although Punk's
I
reign
just
is
thought about
not
that.
even the longest, is it? Like, you know, it's not
It was the
even
longest
close.
of the quote
San
unquote
Martino.
modern era.
Yeah, that's true. They want to try and erase memories, just like they did with obviously the New Day and Demolition, I think it was. So, yeah, cool. I think it'll be a great match. Once again, we're back to having great wrestlers wrestle Roman Reigns for the title to help him get up. I love this because every time he has a match, he's learning more and he's taking more from these guys, like he did with Daniel Bryan, like he did with Kevin Owens, like he did with Cesaro, like he did with Edge. Not so much John Cena because, you know, sports entertainer over wrestling. But these are all great wrestlers who can all add something to the caveat of and the luster of his reign. And when it's all said and done, Roman Reigns' reign will go down as one of the better ones of all time because he defended his title against some of the best wrestlers in the world. Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, Edge, Cesaro, John Cena. That's a massive deal. He ran through all of them in one title reign. Now he's going to beat Finn Balor, probably on SmackDown next week. Like, crazy good. And all of them got great matches out of him. I think it speaks volumes that John Cena's match with him is arguably the worst of all of them. And not a surprise, because that was all about marquee value. And it probably sold more than all the others combined. And that's absolutely fine, because that's what wrestling is in these days. But I think it's fine. I do. Anything else to add about SmackDown, mate?
No, it was a decent show. Next week looks pretty fun, and it may sound like it can get worse than Raw.
I mean, you have to be really special to be that bad. Like you'd have to deliberately go out of your way to eat your own shit to be that bad. Like Raw is fucking awful. But we'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know in the comments what you think below. I want to know if maybe you're happy that we're reviewing it a little bit more longer than we used to. So yeah, leave us comments about that. Or if you're just like, yo, where the fuck is the 3-minute reviews? Get this Canadian out of here.
I wouldn't blame you. I'm pretty shit.
Yeah, he is. Nah, he's great at what he does, but ultimately the 3-minute, it's very hard to do a 3-minute review with two people. That just doesn't happen.
Possible.
What did you think? It was great. Yeah, I thought so too. Next, please. Like, it just, it'd be too rapid and people would be like, whoa, I need some cocaine or speed. Or maybe I just need to chill out and have some weed. Either way, let us know your drug of choice in the comments below. I've been Aaron X, he's been Carl Wilkinson, and we'll catch you very soon for more content from the Wrestle Club.